Welcome to you all in the next session. Now we'll discuss about the dowsing. Radiesthesia is a method of dowsing or divining to determine an energy radiation. The most two common tools are dowsing rod and pendulum. These devices assist you in communicating with the levels of our mind that recognize the subtle energy. And that energy fields you interact with, they are tools for communicating with your subconscious mind. Okay. The subconscious is aware of every interaction with outside energies, no matter how subtle it is. The dowsing tool and pendulums become an extension of our eyes. They are a link between the nervous system and those energy fields you interact with. So these tools have been used in wartime to locate the underground mines. Underground mines, tunnels, etc. A number of utility companies train their repairmen in their use so that only the appropriate lines are dug up when repairs are necessary. Your higher consciousness or your intelligence communicates to you through your nervous system, sending you signals, and dowsing rods and pendulums amplify those signals of communication. Sometimes we all have third eye power, and we have intuitional power. This person is not good. I should be cautious about him. So this type of intuition little bit comes. So which already is coming into your mind, dowsing rods or pendulum helps to increase those intuitions. Get it? So you can therefore detect those hidden things, and you can translate them. You thus open further channels of sensitivity to those subtle energies of life. They are an extension of your eyes, providing visual clues that you can recognize more easily. The rods have no special quality of their own, they are simply tools to heighten your sensitivity. So I'll show you the pendulum. Like, this is the pendulum. You can make with anything, like when we were in school we used to make with the rings, ring or any sharp thing, but better to take off the crystal one. This is the with crystal. You can get it from the market. So you can say this is a crystal. You can say quartz crystal pendulum. Quartz crystal pendulum. So this is the very common type of pendulum, easily available in the market. So what is the power of this pendulum? Making your own pendulum is simple. You can use any objects find around your house, your home. You may purchase from any of the variety stores. Button, ring, crystals are commonly used as pendulum. The best pendulums are rounds, cylindrical, or spherical. They work more effectively if they are symmetrical, balanced, because the deviation will be less in those who are symmetrical. The object used to attach to a thread or string or a small chain. The pendulum is hung freely from the end of the chain or the thread. Its movement provides answers and input the subtle energy awareness. It is an amplifier. Okay. So learning to use pendulum is very easy. We learn today. It requires only a little time and practice in a quiet place. There should not be any disturbance, no TV on, no WhatsApp on, no Facebook on at that moment. It also requires the ability to relax. You must learn to keep the emotions out of the pendulum process, as they will short circuit the electric system. If you have very good impression about someone, then you put in your mind, oh, that person, Rauji is very good. Huh? So if you put in your mind, it will give you the false answer. If you say, the Ramesh, yeah, I don't know. So how he is, I want to know. So it will give you the honest result. Okay. So learning to use pendulum is how you must learn to keep your emotions first. Your decision already made in your mind, you should keep aside, because we don't want our decision to be short circuited. So the first step to using a pendulum is to get the feel of it. You should own it. Okay, it should be a personalized. It's not be what you say public pendulum. Anybody can come and use it. No, it should be your individual. The first step is you should own a pendulum. It should not be used by the other person, maybe your family member. So take a seated position at a desk or a table, making yourself comfortable. Have your feet flat on the floor, no moving here and there. Rest your elbow on the surface of the desk. Like this, you can comfortable. So hold the pendulum by its chain using thumb and index finger. So simply let the pendulum hang for a minute or two. Now begin to circle it gently in a clockwise direction. Allow it to come to a rest and then rotate in a counterclockwise. What we say? Anti-clockwise. Now next move it horizontally, vertically, and diagonally. At this point, you are simply becoming comfortable with its feel. It's moving as per your discretion, and whatsoever instruction you are giving, it's following. So it should be some relation, some connection should be established between the pendulum and you. Okay. So begin to form some experimentation with this. It takes only most 1 minute muscle movement to make the pendulum swing, as you see. You will find as it is elaborated upon that you can cause the pendulum to swing without making a deliberate efforts. Now I make the effort, I give it's the instruction, move diagonally, move horizontally. Visualize the running through your arms and down to the chain and end of the pendulum. See all the movements from here to here, not only the pendulum one, where it's going diagonally, vertically, anti-clockwise, stop, clockwise. Okay. So do not swing it yourself. Do it all with your thought. When it begins to swing, think to yourself, stop. And see it becomes to a dead stop. It may take a few seconds. So be patient with yourself. Remember that you are working with electrical impulses sent out from your brain through the nervous system to stimulate the involuntary muscle action. Fine. So now you must teach it how you want it to respond. This step is like programming your computer. You are telling it what kind of feedback I should give it to you. You want to be able to understand its movement when you ask it a question. You want to let the subconscious know the kind of movements you expect to receive. So begin with these two intersecting lines. Like this, you make two lines. So lay it flat on the desk and dangle the pendulum over it. Like this. Horizontal one and then the vertical one. Okay. You make on a paper cross. Okay. So now tell yourself that when I ask a question and the answer is yes, you will make the pendulum move in the vertical direction. Yes. Okay. If you want the question of the answer is no, move horizontal. Left to right and right to left. Like this. Okay. So let it swing softly and repeating the above statement. Just try it and experiment. So with this exercise, you are establishing the vocabulary of the communication process. Test this vocabulary and ask yourself to which you know the answer is yes. Like you are wearing a white dress, you had your breakfast, you are learning third degree. So, but do not consciously move the pendulum this time. Okay. So let the inner working of the nervous system create the physical response. Use questions such as, my name is Sukama, I'm sitting at this place, I'm sitting as my friend's house, I'm learning third level, I've already taken my breakfast. Like this, the answer is perfectly yes. So doing this only not only helps to establish the communication vocabulary for your pendulum work, but it also proves you that you do not have to assist in the movement process. With practice, you can use questions to which you don't know the answer. Understand? So now do the same thing for the no response also, using the same statement and moving the pendulum along with the horizontal axis. Tell yourself out loud, when I ask a question and the answer is no, the pendulum will move in the horizontal direction. As we have set no as a horizontal and yes to the vertical line. So softly swing it along with the horizontal line as you repeat the above statement. Remember, you are just establishing the communication vocabulary for your pendulum. Fine. Then test your ability to move the pendulum without conscious control. Ask a question or two to which you know the best answer. The answer is no. And allow the pendulum to move to the horizontal. Do not assist it in any way. Simply keep your mind on the question and repeat it if you feel like. The pendulum will move. Take about 5 minutes and do this every day for a week. This is all that it will take to program the subconscious to move the pendulum in the manner you are prescribed. And if you wish, you can circular the rotations rather than the vertical or horizontal lines. Movement like clockwise is yes and counterclockwise is no. Like this. Once you have programmed your pendulum, pay attention not only to the direction of the movement but also to its intensity and speed. This also has meaning. It provides clues as to how strongly you should pay attention to the answer you are receiving. So as you begin the program, the pendulum, test it. Prove to yourself that it will move without your conscious physical assistance. Use the intersecting line. Rest your elbows on the table. Let the pendulum hang still and then think to yourself the word yes. Repeat it in your mind and let your eyes look up and down the yes line. Do this until the pendulum swings and down on its own. It will only take 1 minute or so. Stay relaxed. So now think to yourself, stop. As the pendulum comes to rest, repeat this procedure using the word no and the no line. You see the no and the no line. Then do the same thing with the circles. Clockwise you want yes, anti-clockwise you want no. You are learning to make it move with just the mind. You are not doing any hand movement. You must learn to ask yourself yes or no questions. The more specific, the better will be the response. For example, some people ask the pendulum if a certain food is edible, the pendulum may give a positive response. But if the question is phrased, is this food is beneficial for me? Is this job is going to be beneficial for me? Whether this business will be okay for me? The pendulum may give a negative response. Experiment with it. Ask yourself which have definite yes and no answers. Don't put the pendulum as well in the dilemma. Like general questions. It's important one thing to keep your emotions out of asking process. Some people will not relax. Thus the pendulum also responds the way they want it. If you relax and stay as an unemotional as possible, the response will become very accurate. The more you keep the conscious mind out of the process, the stronger and the greater perceptions will come. Remember that with alpha brain wave patterns, those that occur when you are relaxed, you become more sensitive to the subtle energy interact with your auric field. And when you are in the beta brain wave pattern, consciously focusing, your perceptions are more often limited to those of the five senses alone. Understand? When you are in a beta brain wave pattern, consciously focusing, your perceptions are more often limited to those of the five senses alone. So you should be comfortably letting the pendulum to do its own work. Only you need to connect with the pendulum. Now, as you are asking, the mirroring the aura with pendulum. Although not as easy as quick as we do with the aura rods, this method can still be effective with each step, because aura rod you may not be carrying all the time, but dowser is very easy to keep in your pocket and go away. So with each step closer, pause and allow the pendulum to rest before it gives you the programmed response. It's effective to use a clockwise movement as an indicator of contact with the edge of the aura. As in dowsing rod, we open dowsing rods as when I follow is dowsing rods open when I enter the aura field of a person. Similarly, I can carry in the pendulum, and when I enter the aura rod of a person, it will start moving. I give you instructions that whenever you enter the aura field of a person, you move clockwise. Suppose the person is standing there, you stand there, okay? When you enter the aura field, please move clockwise. See how strong the aura field is. It's moving so fast. So in this way you can measure, and you move around the circle of a person and then you can measure it. Measuring the aura of an individual with a pendulum is not as easy as we do with the aura rods, because there are actually two ways of doing it, both of which you can support each other. The first is simply using a questionable approach, that use your yes or no. Ask yourself question about the size of the aura. Is my aura is 15 to 20 feet? Is my aura is 10 to 15 feet? Or my aura is 5 to 10 feet? Like that. So begin with general questions, okay? Then narrow it down even more specific, like is my aura is 8 feet, 7 feet, 6.5 feet. So it will move to yes or no, like this also you can do. The second method is similar to the, as I told shown you just now, as we are using with the dowsing rods. Have the individual stand about 20 feet away from you. Take a few moments to relax. Talk to yourself and the pendulum that you want to have an indication about the other person's aura. This way it will not pick up your own, because you are also carrying your own aura, na? So we will tell him, you give me an indication when you enter the other person's aura. So slowly and gently move towards the person, because you are moving your body, and there is a greater likelihood of you causing it to sway. For this reason, it's best to use a circular rotation to indicate a contact with the other person's aura. So if a person is standing like this, you can move around this. You start from here. You know the earth is moving at its own axis and it's around the sun also. The same way we want. We are moving, we ask the pendulum to move at its own axis, and if a person is standing here like this, we can measure. So it's best to use a circular rotation to indicate the contact with the other person's aura. The positive response is effective. Clockwise we usually say. So in this way you can measure. So clockwise is easily moving. So when we move around a person, like earth moves at its own axis also, and it's around the sun also, same way. So with like this you can move the aura. Otherwise, yes and no. Horizontal is with my mind setup, I keep it like this is no, this is yes. So this also you can do. Clockwise is yes, anti-clockwise is no. You can program as well. There are different colors also you can choose like this. You can write a Vibgyor on a paper. all the colors. Which my aura color is which one? Red, orange, yellow, green, blue. You can do like that also. In circular motion also, like, because we are moving na, I'll show you the board also. I can show you this way. This way you can see. And if you want to see about the this way, you can make the circle and you can put the colors. So dowser can move to the orange, to the red, as per your discretion. So this way you can measure the aura with the hand. Now in this session we'll cover the to see your own aura. We are very much particular about ourselves. If you see a group photo, what you will do? The very first you will see your own photo, where I am, isn't it? So when you want to see your own aura, what to do? Stand the object 18 inch to 2 feet in front of a bare white wall, and avoid walls with colors or patterns. It should be a plain white wall. So use indirect lighting, natural ambient daylight, and if possible avoid the fluorescent light of the tube light or any direct sunlight. So view the subject from at least 10 feet away. Ask the subject to relax, breathe slowly, deeply, and rock gently from side to side with hands unclasped at her side. It should not be clasped like this. So look past the subject's head and shoulder and focus on the wall behind him. Okay? Because the strongest part of the aura is around the shoulder and the head. So avoid looking at the subject, concentrating instead on the texture of the paint or whatever surface is behind him or her. So ask your, as you look past the outline of the body, where the ear starts and the body stops, you will see a band of fuzzy light around the subject. And about 1/4 inch to 1/2 inch in depth. This is the etheric aura. There are two layers of the aura. Etheric aura, I'll show you. Etheric and estric aura. Etheric aura is around our body, and astral aura is which we measure with the dowsing rod or the pendulum. So this is the etheric aura. Continue to look past the outline of the body, and you should see the subject as if she is illuminating from the behind. Some bulb or the light is there, and the light is coming with a bright yellow or silver color. One side might glow more brightly or slowly pulsate, or are rarely are uniform. Sometimes it's bigger on the left side and lesser on the right side, and the vice versa also. So each person is different. Some subjects, some people will have less visible aura than the others, and every viewer will not visibly at first see the colors, but white everyone can see. So the fuzzy envelope or hollow around the body will be discernible within a very short of time, usually 1 minute or less. So try using different subjects, different people in your family, and experiment with lighting and background. Soon you will see a second larger band of light, 3 inches to 2 feet aura of the body you can see. This is the astral aura. It is usually darker and more diffuse. Okay. So light should come from the lateral side of the subject. Suppose object is in front, so light should come from diagonally, not from the front. And I'm watching at the around the head and the shoulder of the person. So this way we can see. Yes, you can see the other person's aura in this way. And if you want to see your own aura, what to do? How we see our face? We see in the mirror. Okay. So stand in front of a mirror at least 18 inches away from, or if possible further. Place yourself with a white or neutral color surface visible in mirror behind of you. Means the wall in front of the mirror should be white. So relax, breathe deeply, slowly, and slowly sway from left to right, side to side. Focus on the texture of the surface of the wall behind you. Now you are watching the wall which is behind you because you are watching in the mirror. So as you stare past the outline of your head and shoulder, you will see the envelope of light around your body, which moves with you as you rock gently. Remember to breathe as you do this, since you are now both viewer and the subject. So lighting should be appropriate, it should be subdued, little less light, neither too bright nor too dark. Experiment. Auras cannot be seen in total darkness. Okay? And bright light will wash away all the aura. So it should be balanced. Colors of clothing is unimportant. You might find that your auric color, when you become accustomed to seeing it, will clash with certain items in your wardrobe, but you will see your true colors regardless of whatever you wear. So experiment with projecting a color. Think of a color and try to visualize it. You can change your baseline color temporarily, though this kind of exercise and change can be seen in your aura. So as you exhale, the aura should be larger. Reciting the numbers 1 through 30 is a normal speaking voice which will help to vibrate your energy. So take a breath after every 2 minutes, after every 2 numbers. Speed up the count from the number 20 on without taking a breath, and watch your aura change in your size and vibrance. You have seen the the children, school children, aura is bubbling because earlier in schools they used to chant the counting everything, tables. So when you chant 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, continuously do this. So without taking a breath, you can watch your aura changes in size and vibrations. As you resume normal quiet breathing, the aura will return its former size but might appear a little brighter. So you can see the colors I have already discussed with you. Purple, you can see indigo, blue, green, yellow, orange and red. These colors can be seen in your aura. More specifically, spiritual, purple shows the spiritual attainment, divine consciousness, divine connection, mystical understanding, cosmic consciousness, and purple raiment, you can say, located in the pituitary gland. Okay? And indigo is inspired thought or deep wisdom. Can show spiritual or devotional nature, artistic and harmonious with the nature, self-mastery and located in the pineal gland. Then blue comes. Blue is the strong mental power, intelligence, logical thinking. Clear blue shows intuitive capabilities out of the blue. And dark shades show over analytic, suspicious, visionary mentality and centered in the brain. Then comes green. Green is the balance, harmony, healing and calming force. Clear green shows adaptability and versatility. Dark green shades show deceitful, jealous and green with envy, located in the thyroid or neck area. Then comes yellow. Yellow is love and kindness, compassion and optimism, breath of life, you can say. Dark, lifeless yellow shows suspicious and covetousness, centered in the solar plexus and the heart region. Orange is energy or health, physical vitality, dynamic force. Pride can result from an excess orange if you see in the aura. Dark or cloudy orange shows low intellect, centered in the stomach and spleen area. And then come red. Red is the physical life, vitality, ambition, sexual power. Dark or cloudy red shows violent or passionate tendencies. Red with rage, you say, na? Centered in the genital area. So in this way you can judge the colors in the aura and you can make the decision about a person. So in this session we covered the dowser and the mirroring the aura with the dowser, watching your own aura and the other person's aura. You will be able to see after the third level attunement. This is the theory part. So when you know the theory, then you will be able to do practical after the attunement. So next part we'll cover in the next session. Thank you.